It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hello, welcome. It's showtime, everybody. What's happening? It's the Geno Jones Showtime. Yes. Look at the clock. Yes. I come to you live right here on my YouTube channel 5 nights a week, except for the holidays. Because this Friday, programming note at the very top, this Friday, which will be the 17th, the following Friday, which will be Christmas Eve, and the Friday after that, which will be New Year's Eve, there will be no live, unless something major happens, no live Geno Jones show. So it'll be the best of the Geno. It'll be binge watch. The best of binge watching. How about that? I just kind of came up with that in real time off the top of my head. The best of binge watching the Geno Jones show. But normally, Monday through Friday, I come to you live, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central, 3:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Please, you and everybody you know, everybody that you like, that you love, that you don't know, that you can't stand, that you hate, I don't care. Strangers, aliens, folks you see riding the subway, Chicago on the Red Line, New York on the D train, on a MARTA in Atlanta, BART in the Bay Area, on the 405 in LA, on the 10 in Houston, wherever, on I-95. Tell them to please subscribe to the Geno Jones channel right here on YouTube. Please share this and every episode, and like every episode. Let me just say this off the top. I want to thank all of the whole Geno Jones show community. We've built a community here, and I'm so humbled and honored. I really am. When I say I love you, I mean it. I really do. I got an email from YouTube yesterday, in case you didn't see yesterday's show. So they have like a 2021 recap. So they let you know how you've been doing, how many people have been watching the show, and for how long. So I got this email, and they said, "Congratulations, Geno. You're doing great. You've built this great community and family." So the numbers are, you guys have spent roughly 24,000 minutes of viewing this show in less than a year, almost a year now. Wow, amazing. And nearly 5,000 views. The Geno Jones show has nearly 5,000 views right here on this YouTube channel. I cannot thank you enough. I really can't. All of my new subscribers, everybody from the folks that's been with me from day one to the new subscribers that have just subscribed today or maybe in the last few minutes. So thank you. Thank you for subscribing to the show. Thank you for telling everybody to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for telling everybody to check out the show, to all my guests, my co-hosts, everyone. There's so many people that have poured into this show and into my vision. So thank you so much. So I just wanted to get that off the top. And by the way, if you like to advertise on the Geno Jones show, be a part of advertise on the Geno Jones channel, Geno Jones Network. If you like to be a sponsor, I'd be honored to have you. And if you're looking for the ultimate pitch man or brand ambassador, I am here for you because, yes, let me just say this. I'm the king, not the king. I'm the king pitchman. The king, not the king, the king. It's got to spell it with an A. K-A, all caps. King, K-A-N-G. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Got some good news today. And well, today is a very, very special show in a very personal way. It's a tribute. I'm going to honor a very special person. I'm going to celebrate a very special person and shout out a very special person that I know that's watching the show right now. So I'm going to save the very best for last. But let me start off with, first of all, today is day 24 of the Christmas Blackout. So let me explain what the Christmas Blackout is all about. So first I want to shout out my man, Joe Madison. He is the host of the the Joe Madison Show, called The Black Eagle on Sirius XM Urban View, Channel 126. Legendary talk show host, National Radio Hall of Fame, just a good dude. This brother is 72 years old, cancer survivor, and he is in, I think, day 38 of a hunger strike to force politicians to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act or the Freedom to Vote Act. So he inspired me to do something. As he says, and also there's a famous line I always quote in the movie The Untouchables between the late Sean Connery, the real, as far as I'm concerned, the real James Bond. The only, like, really real, the James Bond that was about the closest they ever had to a brother was Sean Connery. He had that cool and that swag. No disrespect to the other dudes and Daniel Craig and Roger Moore. No. The real Bond, the real 007 was Sean Connery. So anyway, in The Untouchables, that movie, Sean Connery and Kevin Costner, there's a scene, and Sean Connery's character tells, or really, he makes a statement to Kevin Costner's character. He says, "What are you prepared to do about it? What are you prepared to do about it?" So what I was prepared to do is use my platform to also amplify this protest. So what I've done, the Christmas blackout, so we're going to protest all these large companies, large Fortune 500 companies, large retailers, CEOs that have taken our money. We as Black Americans have $2 trillion with a T, $2 trillion in spending power. That's a lot of money. Just imagine if we just kept half of that in our own community. Wow. Can you imagine all the businesses that would sprout up? And that's a different conversation. So these companies, these CEOs, they have taken the money that we have spent, the money that we have given to them and spent with them. They've taken that money and they've given it to politicians that are actively trying to take away our right to vote. In essence, when you take away a person's right to vote, you take away their humanity, you take away their freedom. Because when you can deny them the right to vote, then you can do what was done after Reconstruction, after like 1877, 78. So you had the end of the Civil War in 1865, then you had like a 12-year period of what they call Reconstruction, where Black Americans made all kind of incredible gains, and we bought land, and there were many Black politicians, senators, the House of Representatives in Washington, D.C., running state governments. And after 1877, Rutherford B. Hayes basically just sold out Black folks, and it was because the white folks, it was tripping. It's like, oh, it's not fair. We lost the war and we lost all of our money because we don't have people that's providing free labor. So Rutherford B. Hayes, basically he took the Union Army soldiers out of the southern states. And it was a wrap. Because once he took the Union soldiers out of the southern states, then the southern states came up with Jim Crow laws and segregation and slave patrols, which were the beginning of local police departments, local law enforcement. That's how you got local police officers that came out of slave patrols. So in essence, the first thing after 1877, what was the very first thing that these states who wrote and enacted these Jim Crow laws, what was the first thing they did? They took away the right for Black people to vote. And then they were able to write Jim Crow laws and separate and unequal, and just lynching we still don't have an anti-lynching law on the books. There's no federal anti-lynching law nowhere in America. Can you imagine the tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of Black people that have been lynched in the history of this country, and we were still not able to have an anti-lynching law? So when you take away a people's right to vote, then you have the power to put into law any laws that can oppress and suppress those people. That's what's happening. And that's real talk. That's not hype and hyperbole. That is real talk, everybody. That's why it's so important. Because if you don't have voting rights, you don't have to worry about losing. Women don't have to worry about losing their reproductive rights and have the freedom. It's not even a freedom. Just have the basic right to determine what they do with their body. They should be able to determine if they want to terminate a pregnancy. If they don't want to have a baby, it's their body. They are carrying the baby. I don't give a damn if she didn't make the baby by herself. Yeah, but guess what? You ain't carrying the baby, partner, because God knew if men had to carry and give life through a small canal, we as humans would be extinct. Men can't stand not that kind of pain. Now they can play football and MMA and get knocked upside the head, but bringing a life into the world and having a baby and shifting your organs and breech babies going this way instead of that way, and ectopic pregnancies where the fetus winds up in the fallopian tubes. Call your doctor, call your OBGYN if you don't know what that means. Yes, they used to call it getting pregnant in your tubes, which can be fatal. Man, I had to deal with that. Man, we would be extinct. We'd be like the dinosaur. Humans would be no humans nowhere around. It would be deers and lions and tigers and whales and sharks. Where the humans? Well, they went extinct. Why? Because men was like, we ain't having no kids. Man, if human existence depends on this baby coming out of me, shit, good luck. You can kiss humanity goodbye, because I ain't about to go through and deal with all that. But God knew what he was doing. That's why we as men, we do not bring life into the world. So the bottom line, you take a group of people's right to vote, you completely take their power away. And you have all the power to determine how those people live. So this John Lewis Voting Rights Act and the Freedom to Vote Act it's like oxygen and water. We can't live without air and water. Even food. You can kind of go without food for a while, but you can't go with oxygen and water, air and water. You need that like all the time. So this campaign, I call it the Christmas Blackout. So what is that? What are we doing with the Christmas Blackout? We're not going to financially support these companies and these CEOs. What are we going to do with that money? We're going to buy black. We're going to build up black businesses and black business owners. Shout out to my man, Derek Middleton, a black business owner. Got 3 businesses here, a La Creme Posh, and about to open up a brand new sports bar, the Mixin' Sports Bar, coming up in a couple of weeks. That is what we are going to do. Why should we give people our money, who then in turn give our money to politicians, so those politicians can create laws to oppress us? That don't make any sense. This ain't 1921, this is 2021. And what we not gonna do, as they used to say back in the 90s, it was a show called In Living Color, and they had this, my man Damon Wayans had a character, a little comedy skit. He was a clown. He was a thug clown. He was about that life, and he had a little thing like some socks rolled up. So I don't know what the hell was in the socks, and he was like, "Bam, homie, don't play that. Bam, homie, don't play oppressing black people by taking away our right to vote." We're not doing that, because when you come for black people, then you come for brown people. You come for people of color. But see, what even the MAGA crowd, which y'all brainwash white nationalists and domestic terrorists don't understand. They'll come for black folks, then they'll come for the Hispanic brothers and sisters, the Native American and the indigenous brothers and sisters. They'll come from the Asian American brothers and sisters. Then they'll come for the gays and the lesbians and the trans and the bisexuals. But then, eventually, they are coming for your ass too. because they don't like you either. They just use hate and racism and fear to keep you amped up, to keep you focused on black people and making you think that black people are the reason that you've been living in a trailer park that a strong wind could come and blow away. The reason you haven't had a raise in 30 or 40 years. The reason why generations of your family have been living in poverty up in the hills somewhere in Appalachia. They want to make you think the reason that you and your family have been living like that for generations is because of black people. No, it's because of somebody with your skin pigmentation, a dude that looked just like you, that sat in a boardroom, but now they don't even do PowerPoint presentations. You don't tell them what they have. They got all kind of technology where they sit back and look at the numbers like, we're going to go ahead, we're going to cut about 30,000 jobs here in West Virginia, and 20,000 here in Georgia, and 10,000 in Kentucky. Just think about, there was a plant, a candle making plant in Kentucky. And the employee said when this deadly tornado that killed, officially as of now, I think 8 people in this candle factory, when they knew the tornado was coming, this is a tornado emergency, seek shelter, and people wanted to go home. They wanted to leave this plant to try to seek shelter on their own. The employee said that management told them, if you leave, you're gonna lose your job. If you leave now, you're gonna come back and not have a job. And people felt pressured to stay. And many of those people lost their lives, severely injured physically. All of them were injured mentally and emotionally. So they're coming for black people and people of colors and young people and elderly peoples. They're coming for their voting rights now. But they'll get around to you. I promise you. Absolutely, they'll get around to your ass. So if you think that, oh yeah, let's go ahead and pass all these laws so we'll make it hard for black people not to vote. Okay. So who's next? You think they're going to stop there? These people that want a dictatorship, it's all about power. That's what you don't understand. To all the racists and the white supremacists, what you all don't know, like this whole concept of race, first of all, is made up. It was made up in the late 1700s, or I'm sorry, the late 1600s, like the 1670s. It was made up like a con. It was a con that was made up. So you would keep your eye on somebody that looks like me. So somebody that looks like you could basically keep you poor and uneducated, and they could hold on to all the power, wealth, and resources without you saying, hey, wait a minute, what about me? They're like, no, well, the reason you can't get it is because of them darkies and them gays and lesbians and them women. They're the reason you can't have access to the wealth, resources, and power that we have. It's been a con game for centuries. You gotta wake up. So that's what the Christmas blackout is all about. The goal is to protect and support the voting rights that we have and to force the people, the companies, and the CEOs that pay the politicians who are trying to pass laws to oppress black people by taking away our Voting Rights Act, to force those people to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act or the Freedom to Vote Act. Because if I can't appeal to your morality and your sense of humanity and compassion and empathy and decency, I can damn sure get your attention when I start digging. It's my grandfather, digging deep down in them pockets till there's nothing left in your pockets but some dust. Then I'll get your attention. I promise you I will. Congratulations to Keechant, I believe she pronounces it, Keechant Sewell, the first female police commissioner of New York City, Black woman magic. Speaking of, and police, actually, I was going to start off with this story, but congratulations to this sister. Speaking of police, use that term loosely. Derek Chauvin pleads guilty of violating George Floyd's civil rights. See, so Chauvin has already been convicted in a state trial, looking at getting a whole lot of years, a couple decades, possibly in prison, already convicted for the murder of George Floyd on Memorial Day back in 2020, May 25th to be exact, up in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So Derek Chauvin, that inhuman animal and murderer who was a police officer, Minneapolis police officer, murdered because he had his knee on the neck of George Floyd for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. And the whole world got to see it because a teenage girl had the courage to stand there and videotape the whole thing. So Derek Chauvin now pleads guilty in a federal court of a felony of violating George Floyd's civil rights. Now, why did he do that? So he avoided a federal trial because he could get a longer sentence if he was convicted, if he was found guilty or convicted by a jury in a federal trial. So I guess he's like, well, Your Honor, I did it. Cut me some slack, man. Come on. Me and you, we got to stick together. Cut me some slack. Cut a white man some slack. Yeah, I did it. I ain't like the N-word, but you probably don't like him either, Judge. He's probably hoping that he'll get a judge. This is on some white nationalist, some racist hatred kind of ish, taking his chance. They want to take his chance with a jury. Not in D.C. Ooh, no. You may get a few black folks on that jury. So Derek Chauvin, he just said, hey, I'm guilty. So he still got to do time in the state because of being convicted of murder and manslaughter in that state trial in Minneapolis. He's in jail now, so he ain't gonna get out for a while. But he's looking at even more time with this federal case. And he did not want to take a chance on going of the federal case of violating George Floyd's civil rights going to trial. So he said, I'm guilty. We don't need a trial. Your Honor, what we gonna do? So we'll let you know when the judge determines, when there's a determination in terms of how much additional time in jail Derek Chauvin is gonna get. But congratulations once again to, speaking of police officers, and I don't know this woman. Let me be honest, I don't know her, but I have faith. As a matter of fact, New York City, shout out to Eric Adams, who was a police officer in New York City. He's now the mayor. So he appointed, Black Woman Magic appointed the sister. She was the first female, and obviously the first black woman police commissioner in the city of New York City. Y'all like Chicago, y'all got a lot of problems. Because there's a racist element of police officer in the ranks all across America. It's not just New York City or Chicago, but New York City, Amadou Diallo, Sean Bell, those cases ring a bell. That's all I gotta say. If you don't know who Sean Bell is and what happened with him and how many times he was murdered, like the night before his wedding by New York City police officers, or what happened to the sick, perverted thing that some police officers did to his brother named Amadou Diallo with a plunger. I'm not even going to tell you. You got to look that up on your own. Yeah. And we don't have to talk about Chicago. You think of Chicago police officers, corruption, racism, not all, but enough. The history of the Chicago Police Department and black people, I don't have to say anything else. You already know what that's like. So I want to congratulate this sister, I believe, Keishant Sewell. I believe that's how you pronounce her name, Keishant. So it's either Keishant or Keishant Sewell. Speaking of black women, let me wrap up the show. I want to say happy birthday, a very, very special happy birthday to a very, very special person who is my true superhero. she is my superhero, and she has been my superhero from day one. And I wanted to get her on the show, but she's still, wrestling with some of she's pretty good with the technology. It's just her phone has not been cooperating. She's watching the show live, but I'm gonna get her live on the show. I was trying to get my nephew to go over there today and send him the Zoom invite so she could be my guest on the show. But I know she's watching. Happy birthday to the woman. I talk and tell jokes and entertain people for a living and motivational speaker. I cannot find the words to express the appreciation, the gratitude, the reverence, the love, the luck that I have to have this woman as my mother. And today is her birthday, Mary Dixon. So I want you all to do me a favor, because I didn't get a chance to post on social media. So please go on Facebook. She's on Facebook, Mary Dixon. She's on Facebook because her son, she sees her son on Facebook and YouTube. So wish my mother, Mary Dixon, a very, very, very happy birthday. I love her more than life itself. She's my biggest fan. She's my greatest inspiration, along with my girls and Damaris. But it started with my mom. She was a young mom. When she had me, she had a bright future. She was an honor roll student. She had a bright college future. As a matter of fact, not only did she have a bright future academically, but it was already covered financially because my grandfather had taken care of that. Man who probably never took home more than $125 a week in a paycheck, working for a Jewish clothing store owner in Chicago, but had managed to save up enough money, cash, for my mother's college tuition to be covered all 4 years. And all of that college tuition money was used to save my life and her life, because I was a breech baby. Now, what is a breech baby? Well, babies are supposed to go down. No, for some reason, my ass, I wanted to go up toward her heart. And they had to fly in specialists from the Mayo Clinic in Minneapolis. Had to fly them in, and then when they flew the specialist in, they said then it was so touch and go that they had to put her on a helicopter to hurry up and get her to the hospital to save the pregnancy, to save my life, and to save my mom's life. So my mother has given up so much. She gave up her future for my future. And for that, I could never thank her enough. There's not enough money that I could print. You could take Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and every rich oil person in Saudi Arabia and the Middle East, and it still wouldn't be enough money to pay her back. But I'll take it. But it wouldn't be enough money to pay her for everything that she's given to me. She's the wind beneath my wings. She's the one person who believed in me even more than I believed in myself. And if you watch me now, that might be hard to believe, because I know I come across as a pretty confident kind of guy. And on camera and behind a microphone and on stage, I am. But I wasn't always that way. I always believed in myself. But I always believed in myself because my mother and my grandparents, Gene Jones and Conway Jones, always believed in me. And to this day, my mother believes in me as much, probably even more than I believe in myself. That's saying a whole lot. So for that, and for so much more, Mother, I honor you, I thank you, I adore you, I treasure you, and I protect you to the best of my ability. And I worry about you, and I celebrate you, and I love you, and happy birthday. Thank you for letting me be a part of my life, or let me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you. God, most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones channel right here on my YouTube channel, part of the Geno Jones Network. Please share this and every episode. Please like every episode. Once again, if you'd like to be a sponsor, if you'd like to advertise, contact me, Geno Jones Show, Geno Jones Show at Gmail. Leave me a message here at my YouTube channel. All right. Shout out to Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist of the Geno Jones Show. He is the CEO and owner of Designer Cuts here in Goose Creek, South Carolina, part of the Charleston, South Carolina Metro. Check him out on Instagram, Kelby Cutting Up, KELBECUTTINUP, Kelby Cutting Up. And Allie Jones, Alexandria, aka Allie Jones, Bruce Gage. Allie Jones, the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show, along with Bruce Gage. You can check out Allie on Instagram. Oh, she's bad. Fashion designer, fashion design model. Well, she's a model too. Fashion designer and fashion design major. Columbia College, Chicago, my alma mater. Shout out to Columbia College, Chicago. Allie Jones on Instagram, _ down at the bottom, at the line at the bottom, _ Lexi, LEXXIE, space, one space over, Nicole, NICOLE Designs. And Bruce Gage, you can check him out on Instagram. You can check out both of his clothing lines. Miglio di Mario Uomo, oh, that's right, Miglio di Mario Uomo, or Flyball the store. So just go to Instagram, check out the Instagram page. Just type in Bruce Gage in the search bar. Do the same on Facebook. All right. I love each and every one of you. Happy birthday, Mother. I hope you had a great birthday. I know you did. Just enjoy. Celebrate the whole rest of the month. Celebrate every day. I know you do, because we celebrate having you every day. All right. I love each and every one of you, too. Have a great day. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. One quick programming note once again. This Friday, December 17th, the following Friday, December 24th, Christmas Eve, and the following Friday after that, New Year's Eve, December 31st, it'll be the best of binge watching the Geno Jones Show. There'll be no live show, so it'll be the best of binge watch. Me, G. All right, everybody. Once again, thank you. Please, on Facebook, if you're watching this, if you're on Facebook or Instagram, hashtag Happy Birthday Mary Dixon, or just Happy Birthday Mary Dixon. Thank you, everybody. Once again, and thank you for all the support, the 24,000 minutes of viewing the Geno Jones Show, the 5,000 views. Thank you. God bless you. I love you. One more thing before I get out of here. And I think I want to close with a song, a video. My buddy Larry D got a brand new song called Just We. Now think about my mom. I'm the oldest. So when it started off, it was just we. Just me and my mom. So, Mother, I'm dedicating this video to you. My man Larry D, former lead singer of the Barcades, Larry Dotson, we call him Larry D. Just we. One more thing for everybody else that's watching, as always, be blessed. Thanks.
Sunshine turns to bad weather, they turn and run. But with you that'll never be the case. That won't be the story of us. Now everything ain't been all rainbows, but never broke our love. We've come so far from where we used to be. It's no longer just you and me. It's just we. Could you ever have
life's ups and downs, finish on each other's sentences before they come out. Look at what we started together, baby, look at where we at now. Can't believe it all began with a can I take you out? We've come so far from where we used to be. It's no longer just you and me, now it's just we. Could you ever have dreamed this is where we would be? It's no longer just you and me, now it's just we. I'm the paint and you're the canvas. You're the leaves and I'm the branches. There is no me without you and vice versa. This one's for the lovers that never left one another. Through the good, the bad, the happy and the sad, they never left your side, they stay. Oh, this one's for the lovers that never left one another. Through the good and the bad and the happy and sad, they never left your side, they stay. We've come so far, we used to be. Girl, it's no longer just you and me. Now it's just me. We never have dreamed this is where we would be. It's no longer just you and me. Now it's just we. We've come so far from where we used to be. It's no longer just you and me. Now it's just we. Just we. You and me, girl.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.